Hey guys, my name is Coolio McDoodle. I go by Jordan in Saltu. That's probably what I'll be known as. I wanted to make a video series essentially documenting my league journey since joining Saltu. I joined around 2 weeks ago, so this is not very far in at all. I consider this a good starting point, able to really assess where I'm at right now. I don't think much growth or learning has been done yet. I think there has been steps taken that will impact the future, but we'll get into that as this video goes on. So essentially, what are my plans? My plans for this video series are pretty simple. I want to document where I started, where I'll end up, my process in the meantime, how I'm taking steps to achieve my eventual goals, what my short-term objectives are, and what I hope to get out of it in the future. These sorts of things, right? And I'm going to do that in multiple ways, I think my idea is to record this video series maybe once a month is the general guideline, but it could just be I've hit a big goal, I've hit a big achievement, a big milestone. I could be in some kind of slump and I want to talk about my mindset going into this, how I'm going to get out of it, what my plans are for that. There could be multiple things, General idea is that I want to do this monthly. And this first video, knowing that I've already recorded this video once, I know that this video is about 15 to 20 minutes long, The first one had no audio, so that was annoying as hell. But we continue. So, what are my plans? I want to develop a growth mindset. That is my very first and foremost plan. And I'll get into the details on why I think I have a fixed mindset that I'm taking steps to improve on now. But yeah, that's my ultimate goal, is not League of Legends. It is my life in general. I'm just using the framework of League of Legends to tackle this on. So I'll start with my history with games, my league journey. And to do that, I do have to give a little bit of context for my life. I came from a very rough, working class background. I moved around a lot as a kid. Didn't have the most stable home life. I don't have a very good relationship with my family. And that sounds like it doesn't have a lot of context, but it definitely does in what I'm about to say. I was labeled as a gifted kid when I was young. And because of this, things like academics came very easy to me. I never really had to try much in academics. And I was naturally gifted in other areas as well. I ended up being quite a good musician. I've got my guitar and my ukulele in the background. I don't know if you can see that. Music is something that I've always been pretty good at. I've got a decent understanding of it. Sports was another thing. I played football. Was never really that good at football, but it was for fun. Rugby, on the other hand, I got to quite a high level in rugby. Definitely could have looked to make something out of it, if not for injury and certainly lack of motivation, not having a growth mindset, not wanting to improve. I hit a plateau and didn't want to get past it, so I just gave up. That is definitely good context to my life overall. But academically, I did fine with essentially zero effort. I did okay. I could have probably done really well if not for other circumstances, but that is what it is, One area of my life that I didn't come naturally to me was video games. I was decent at things like FIFA and Call of Duty. I was, among one of the better people in my friends, among my friend group. Usually playing less of the game than a lot of these people, but still quite a lot, I would play a lot of these games. Didn't really look at it as a way to improve. It was an escape, I had this poor home life. I came home from doing my extracurriculars. I would hop on my Xbox and play Call of Duty and FIFA. But when it really started to change is when I got introduced to Counter-Strike. I had a group of friends They were all started playing Counter-Strike. They all got shiny new gaming PCs. And they was like, you need to try Counter-Strike. It's one of the best games I've ever played. It's amazing. And I was like, you know what? I'll look up some gameplay. You know what? This looks really good. Yeah, I'll give it a go. And the only way I could play it is on my mum's shitty little, like, cheap knockoff brand laptop. And it had onboard Intel graphics and some ancient CPU. It could barely run on the lowest settings on 640p resolution. It was a disaster. I could see the individual pixels on screen. But I managed to hit Distinguished Master Guardian using this laptop, which for reference is probably, it's difficult to compare the ranks in League and Counter-Strike, but it's probably equivalent to high gold, low platinum. So to get that on the technical limitations were good. And I had somewhat of a growth mindset. I didn't have a natural ability. I got placed in Silver 4, which is the 4th lowest rank in the game. And I worked my way up, you know. I was watching a lot of content. There were some good content creators in the scene that did informational videos on how to improve at Counter-Strike. And I would watch these videos, and I would really put in the effort to practice. And eventually I did get quite good. So in the meantime, I was working for a snack bar in a football club to make some money on the side. I was making maybe £60 a week, and I needed around 600 to build a PC. So I managed to do that. It took me almost a year. I built my own PC. Every penny I had spare went to building this PC. And eventually I got it. And I built this PC from scratch. I was so proud of it. Once I started playing on this PC, Counter-Strike, I jumped from DMG to Legendary Eagle Master, which is essentially the equivalent of going from high gold, low platinum to high platinum, low diamond in the space of 3 weeks. So it was almost a negative. It was definitely a negative thing because it instilled this idea in me that I am just gifted. I forget about all the hard work I put in actually improving at the game, but I saw this. Despite all these technical limitations, I was able to get to this rank, and look at me now. And it was such a negative perception to have because I stopped trying at the game and I was still improving. You know, I had these concepts in mind that I was still able to train. You know, I would still go into deathmatch and hit bots and all this. But realistically, I wasn't actively looking to improve the game. I was just playing for fun, for ego, any number of reasons. And I got to Global Elite. I hit A rank in ESEA. I was playing in teams, you know, doing quite well overall. I would easily say I was in the top 1%, if not higher, in Counter-Strike at my peak. And that was, you know, like, it felt like it came naturally to me. And it was such a negative mindset to have. So now we can go back a little bit. So my first introduction to League of Legends was when I was in high school. And one of my friends was like, oh, you should try League of Legends. You got a new PC, right? Yeah, why don't you try League of Legends? I think at the time, it was maybe like Season 4 was out for League. It's difficult to remember. Season 3, Season 4, it was around that time. So I remember looking up League of Legends and seeing, it was pre the map rework, definitely, the visual updates they did. Seeing the old textures and the old like things on screen, I was like, what the fuck is this, you know? This looks like some nerdy fantasy game. I'm not about this. This isn't for me. So I completely ignored it. But eventually, my friends whittled me down over time. And I started playing it around the end of Season 5, the beginning of Season 6. Very casually. I remember playing Blitzcrank in normal games to learn the game. That's essentially what I did. And yeah, that's how I learned the game. I went through a lot of different champions. You know, I didn't have a particular role. I went Blitzcrank to Ashe ADC to Fiora top lane to Warwick jungle, back to bot lane, back to top lane, you know. Eventually I got into ranked. And this was around the time that Kayn was released. And I really clicked with Kayn. And then I started Season 7 playing Kayn and Jack's jungle. And this was something that I carried forward for maybe 2 seasons, maybe 2 or 3. Kane and Jack's jungle, and Xin Zhao, when he got reworked, added him as my third, right? This was essentially what I was doing ranked. Normal games, I was still playing every role, not really caring, I was playing with my friends. I played a lot of ADC. ADC was... Arguably, I've played more ADC than I have jungle over time, but again, it was all normal games and ranked flex and stuff like that. So, I stuck with Kane and Jack's jungle. I hit Silver 3, Season 7, Silver 1, Season 8, and then I hit Gold 4 in Season 9. And never really looked to improve past that. I think Season 10... it might have been in Season 9. I got up to Gold 3, like 90 LP, maybe Gold 2. And I dropped all the way back down to Gold and didn't touch rank for the rest of the season. And it was almost an ego protection thing. It was like, if I don't try, I can have this excuse. I'm playing with my friends. They're all platinum. I'm playing against platinum people in normal games or diamond people in normal games and beating them. I didn't have this idea in mind that maybe they're just playing off-roll, maybe they're playing a champion they don't know, whatever it might be. Maybe they're just playing casually, they're not really caring about the game. In my mind, I was like, I'm beating these diamond players, I'm beating these platinum players, that makes me at least a platinum player. My friends would even back this up. It's like, if you just played ranked, you'd get platinum. Just why don't you play the game? I'm just like, I don't want to, I don't care. I got my victorious Sejuani skin or whatever. Champions I don't play, I don't care about the skins, like why would I care about that? But that was kind of my ego protection at play. So yeah, I went through this thing where every season I would kind of pick one champion and just kind of one trick them, see how high I could get them. Last season it was Twitch jungle, so definitely not helping things there. I hit Gold 4 with about 100 games on Twitch jungle. I saw that as a victory and then stopped playing ranked as per usual. And then around, I think I want to say April of this year, I discovered the BBC. And the first episode I watched was the video about the 40k game gold player. And this was a big wake-up call because I was like, this dude, ridiculous. How can you play that many games and be stuck in gold? And I actually watched the video, read through his comments, thought myself, these narratives sound ridiculous. But I'm holding many of these similar kind of narratives, Like, I had this idea in my head. I am better than I thought because I've beaten diamond players in lane. I've out-jungled platinum junglers. I'm pretty much a platinum jungler and all this. When I play mid lane, I play Gragas mid lane, and I very rarely lose lane, not thinking about the fact that maybe it's just a cheese pick. These people don't know how to play against it. I'm not that good at mid lane. I'm just playing a champion that I have a lot of knowledge of in a role that realistically he's very new to. If he'll survive there, we'll see, but whatever. But after watching that video, I ended up going binging through BBC content. And it was a very big step in this kind of journey. Going through, watching all this content, hearing these narratives kind of broken down, talked about the process. I started doing the process, 3 game blocks, reviewing my games, and I'm terrible at reviewing right now. Something I'm trying to improve on, of course. But yeah, doing these things and coming to terms with the fact that this season I was one-tricking Gragas, and that's the reason I got to gold. I'm currently gold 4, 20 LP, and this is since doing the process. And it was because I had this chat mastery on Gragas. And it wasn't because I was improving the game. I was improving at a champion. This is my level. There was no more narrative to say, hey, it's only because I'm not trying. I was trying. And I'm still at gold. So it kind of shattered my perception. And I was like, this is an important step, I feel. So I joined Saltu. Well, actually, no, we'll go back. I sent an email into the BBC, which I'm sure you guys might remember. I mentioned what role should I pick, jungle or mid lane, because I was dabbling with both at the time. And I remember you guys basically told me to play jungle, but you also really broke down my ego. And I needed this. This was super important. I'm so glad that you did. You essentially said, you know, I made a lot of points about, like, I've got good map awareness and map impact and CS numbers and all this. Because I didn't know what would make someone good at the game. I would think it was an ego protection to say, yeah, I'm pretty good at both of these roles. I'm pretty high level of understanding. Very much not the case. Very, very much. Because if it was the case, I wouldn't be in gold. It's that simple. So you broke that down. Told me to stick to jungle. It's the one I got more experience on. Totally agree. Good decision. And then I joined Saltu. So I joined Saltu around 2 weeks ago. I had my first review session with Gragas. Nathan called it the dental checkup, you know. We're just going to see what the issues are, what we can work on. So it was like tracking was one thing. You're not pinging, you're not warding, you're not doing this. Stop going sweeper, level 1. Your gank fundamentals are weak. You're not assessing whether or not this is a good gank. What else? There was so much in that first session. There was what was the big one? There was a big one. It was I forced some play. I forced some really stupid play and it didn't work out. I got like a flash, but like it shouldn't have worked. It's only because the guy was just not paying attention. And he really told me, like, this is just, camera panning was another one, F keys and all this. You're not looking ahead. You're not thinking about what you're doing. And I was like, yes, this is so true. So I went away, played more Gragas for like a week, came to a review session maybe a week later, maybe 4 days. I can't remember exactly. And I brought a Graves game. And Graves is a champion that I've dabbled with for many seasons. He's somebody I like playing in normals and all that. And that was when the harsh reality set in. Is when Nathan said, you are playing jungle on hard mode here. You're playing Gragas, you're playing Graves. These champions, they're so high concept. These aren't exact words, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but they're high concept champions, There's so many things they can do. They don't have clear identities. They can invade, they can skirmish, they can play high gank, they can farm till 6. There's so many things you can do. They don't have clear reference points. And I was like, yeah, but I'm so good at Gragas. And it's like, mechanically I was decent at Gragas, but I didn't realize how much my mental stack was taken up by, what do I need to do this game? Well, do I need to build? Do I need to go for the one-shot build? Do I need to play defensively? Do I need to peel? Do I need to be supportive? Do I need to engage? Do I need to be secondary engage? All these things that was occupying my mental stack. I wasn't thinking about things like, is this a good gank? Where is the enemy jungler? Can I be taking an objective right now? The things that are essentially jungle, I wasn't doing. And it was very important to have that come into play. And essentially that set me off on my current journey. So my champion pool now, I am learning Wukong. And the difference with Wukong is night and day. Immediately, I have gotten worse overall. Holistically, I have gotten worse. Because I don't know this champion that well. I'm still learning his identity as a champion. The combos and what's a good gank, what's a bad gank with Wukong specifically. When should I take this skirmish? I'm doing a lot of limit testing. It's definitely lost me games. But overall, jungle fundamentals, I'm already seeing rapid improvement. Even though I'm not winning games, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. I can see myself improving mentally. I can see myself becoming a better jungler already 2 weeks in. And it's not going to be reflected by LP probably for a long time. I need to play 80 games of Wukong, understand this champion, then we'll assess, is Wukong the champion for me? At 80 games, that's my goal. I'm not going to touch any other champion unless he gets banned or picked until 80 games in. That is my current goal. I think this is a perfect place to be right now with Split 2 right around the corner. I think we're about 9 days away from Split 2. I am going to be focusing on Wukong. I'm going to be seeing where I can go with him. I have all of these learning objectives. I'm sticking to a few things. Focus on Wukong, improve my ganking fundamentals. I've got a few little learning objectives, holding my E, things like that. My first Wukong session was so much better, my review session with Nathan, because everything he told me was all practical advice. Combos, knowing when to skirmish, just hit your camps. What are you doing? Camps are up. Go hit your camps. You need 6. You need these items. Build this, then this, then this. You're golden every game. Just do that. You'll be fine. So I've got these learning objectives for Wukong. I have these overall holistic jungle learning objectives that I'm simultaneously working on. But I'm keeping it very simple. I know that there's so much for me to work on. But if I focus on these few things, I'll start to see improvement. And that's my current goal for the second half of the split. I'm going to improve. With the rank changes, I don't know what my ranked goal is for the end of the season. I'm thinking Emerald, because at the moment I'm Gold. With the way that it should go, I should be around Platinum with the new ranks. I think I did that calculation right. I'm Gold 4. I should be around Platinum 4. My goal is to get Emerald for the end of the season, which I think is somewhat of a realistic goal. My long-term goal is to hit high elo. So whether that be Masters 300 LP, Masters 500 LP, Grandmaster 900, Challenge, whatever. It doesn't matter right now. What's important is that I have so much to think about. It's exciting more than anything. At first I was overwhelmed. Now I'm excited to really tackle these things. So yeah, those are my goals going forward. I realised this video has been longer than the last one that I tried to record before my audio went. So I better leave it there. Next video will come when I deem it necessary. It'll probably be a few weeks into the next split. See what my rank is, see what's going on. Where am I at with Wukong? How many games? Am I improving? Do I think I'm going to stick him out? Those kinds of things. Next video will be much shorter. Thank you for watching, if anyone did. I don't know, this video series is essentially to hold me accountable to my own things, so I don't do the easy thing and just give up when things start to get rough. Because right now I was in a loss streak until today. I lost 5 games in a row. I had a 1-2 block and then a 0-3 block in a row. So now I played 1 game today already. I just wanted to get that win. I got that win. I took a break now. I'm going to go do another 3 block shortly after recording this video. Get something to eat, get a drink, get in the mindset, and then we'll see. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.